Welcome back to Freakierthings. My name's Quick, and today I have a story from a Reddit user that actually contacted because I read their story and I thought it was quite amazing. We got to chatting and they said after they posted their story, other people started contacting them because they were afraid to share their stories. And that explains exactly why I do this. It's about the awareness that we really need to spread about these events. They preferred to remain anonymous, and I'm going to respect that, but this is their story. I'm a 27-year-old, and I was born in a Muslim family. I had my near-death experience when I was just 6 years old. Every year, my mom used to send my twin sister and I to my grandparents. They lived in a different city where my grandparents lived. There was a canal, and we used to go swimming there often. One day in the afternoon, we had lunch. It was a nice lunch. We were talking about going outside to play. The weather was super hot. My twin sister decided to go out to play. My grandma warned us not to go too far away from the house. After lunch, I took a piece of bread and I put it in my pocket. Every time I got hungry, I would eat the bread. I used to love bread. I told my twin sister that I wanted to go to the canal to go swimming, and she agreed to go with me. We went down to the canal, and when we approached the canal, we saw many kids swimming and playing around. The kids were older than us, and they were allowed to swim in the canal. I was very excited to see the kids swimming and playing. I was so excited, I ran and jumped in. My twin sister didn't say anything. Little did I know that I would drown in that canal. When I jumped in, I was terrified. I didn't realize how deep it was. I could not reach the bottom of the water with my feet. My mind was chasing. I struggled to scream for help, and I cried out my sister's name. I'm not sure what my sister was thinking or doing, but I realized I was dying. I didn't know anything about death at the age of 6. But at that moment, I knew. Everything stopped. My life stopped. Everything was quiet and calm. Nothing mattered to me anymore. I knew I was dead. Afterwards, I saw a glimpse of light, and I was out of my body. When I saw my body, I became very upset. I knew it was my body. I did not want to die. I tried to enter my body, but I was unsuccessful. I was then flying over the canal, back and forth. My face was turned down in the water. I tried to turn it up, but I couldn't do it. My hands, they just weren't there. I couldn't touch anything. I was invisible. I flew to my sister with my mind. I asked her if she was seeing me or if she could hear me, but she couldn't hear or see me. I asked for help. Please, help me. My body's in the water. I want you to get my body out of the water. Of course, I didn't realize she would have drowned too if she jumped in after me. At that time, I noticed one of the most fascinating things that was happening to me. I could read her thoughts and hear what she was thinking. My mind was working like 100 times faster. At that moment, I saw a very bright light come down from the sky. It was a living light, like some sort of figure. It was just pure white light. The light was warm and beautiful. It spoke to me and said, "You should come with me." After that, I merged with that blue, endless light that you could never reach. There is no end. It was so beautiful and warm. It felt like the light I merged with was my angel or a guardian. When I was there, a man appeared to me. I honestly don't remember who it was. I remember seeing the light standing behind me and a man appearing and speaking. The man spoke and said, "Son, it is not your time. You have to go back." Didn't even argue with him asking to stay, or I didn't want to die in the first place. I wanted to live. I said, "I understand." I went back down, but I didn't go in my body right away because whoever dragged my body out of the water was doing CPR. I was just watching. I remember the man who was doing it screamed for help and calling for a doctor. There was a woman who lived in the city very close to my grandparents' house. She was checking my pulse and making sure I was alive. I remember the other kids that were there were surrounding me and watching what was happening, and as I mentioned in the beginning, a piece of bread was in my mouth. Before jumping into the water, I took a bite of bread. That's how the piece of bread ended up there. When that man took that piece of bread out of my mouth, water came sputting out, and I was back inside my body. I remember waking up in my grandma's arms. She was comforting me, and she was scared for me at the same time. After waking up, I felt like I was born again with new feelings. I will never forget the feeling that I experienced as a child. It was eye-opening, and knowing we still exist after we die. We will live and exist in a spiritual world. that is my NDE story. I would like to say thank you so much to the poster. It was an amazing story. And again, thank you for all your support. You guys are amazing. Until next time, this is Quick, and live long, live strong.